Yo, what's good YouTube? Zamcrow here, aka Scoot, back with the CPC, and we've got our Season 7, Week number 10 match, and this is the season finale for the regular season, and we're taking on our boy Blitz. We faced him in quite a few Draft League World Series tours, and honestly, this was probably the match, and it's actually kind of, not really ironic, but it was kind of cool that it was our Week number 10 match, and it was something that I looked forward to all season until we got right up to it. Reason being is because we're both, playoff contenders, and we can't well, we could, but I'm not. He may. I'm not. I'm bringing a lot of fun stuff. I'm bringing a lot of fun stuff in this matchup, and going to kind of gauge his prep and his play for this matchup, how he wants to respond to some certain things and stuff like that. That was my idea going into this match. But beforehand, before it was both of us being in playoffs from the same conference, things like that, it was all about, hey man, I can't wait to play Blitz at the end of the season. I can't wait to play Blitz. There was there's been some great competition. It was great to face Evan once again in the CPC. For the first time in a long time, and in the CPC, and it was great to face off against Sticks and Rise Pull, and we avenged. No, we didn't avenge anything from last season. Well, we did avenge ourselves from last season, obviously. We were 1-9 last season. Anyways, we're sitting at 6-3 right now. Blitz is something similar. I don't think he had actually played his Week 9 match whilst we played our Week 10 match, and both, like I mentioned, playoff contenders and things like that. So I'm not bringing my best squad or anything like that. Just trying to gauge him. I do want to win, no doubt, but I don't mind losing because I'm already locked for playoffs, like I've been saying for the past few weeks. Anyways, if you take a look at his squad, his Toronto Tyranitars, he has Mega Venusaur, Hydreigon, Tornadus Therian, Slowking, Arcanine, Florges, Steelix, Umbreon, Cincino, Floatzel, almost forgot his name, Rotom Frost, and the Barbaracle, where his Z-move users are Hydreigon and Rotom Frost. Our squad has been fire all season, no changes thus far. We've got Clefable, Mamoswine, Greninja, Azumarill, Bronzong, Snorlax, Emboar, Rotom Regular, Rotom Ghost, Rotom Wind, whatever you want to call it, Tornadus Incarnate, Oricorio, the God Bird, and Mega Sceptile, where our Z-move users are Emboar and Tornadus Incarnate. So, that being said, our squad is going to be featuring Mamoswine, Azumarill, Snorlax, Emboar, Oricorio, and Mega Sceptile this week. And the idea of the squad is to baton pass into things like Emboar, Mamoswine, and Mega Sceptile. We're rocking a physically offensive Mega Sceptile in this matchup, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. But he's got some super interesting mons, or interesting squad, powerful squad. Mega Venusaur is always a nuisance to try to break through. And if you look at my squad, I don't really have anything that really can break it outside of my Tornadus and my Oricorio, where I'm only bringing my Oricorio. I've got kind of some lures for Mega Venusaur, and hopefully we can, get around that. Hydreigon is a huge threat as well. It can taunt, it can roost, it has amazing coverage. It can be a Scarf variant with things like Draco and Dark Pulse. Obviously, I have quite a few checks to that as well. Tornadus Therian is a huge problem to my squad. Its speed tier is insanely nice. It can taunt a lot of my mons. It can things like Clefable and Bronzong and Snorlax, things like that can easily be taunted and abused. And it has very powerful stab hurricanes, where my Bronzong is my best answer. I do have Rotom, and I do have Oricorio Pom Pom, which I am bringing Oricorio. So he may notice that it would be an easy switch into Tornadus' Hurricanes and things like that. He may pack Knockoff, he may pack Toxic or something, you never know. Slowking's got that Regenerator, it has Trick Room options and viability, especially with his squad, with things like Mega Venusaur being really slow, and then having things like Steelix, which could be an offensive variant. I believe it does get Sheer Force, so it could be he could bring a Trick Room squad or something like that. And like I said, we're both locked for playoffs already, so it's untelling what Blitz brings. He's a very creative battler. He's a very solid battler. Probably one of the best battlers in the CPC, in my opinion. and he's got Arcanine. Arcanine's always a pain. It really checks my inboard pretty well. It checks, or it can come in on Mega Sceptile pretty comfortably, especially if it's a little bit more Spadef invested. Florges and Arcanine as a combination plus Tornadus Therian really deters my Mega Sceptile, but it kind of got in like top 10 kills. I got like a 6-0 sweep with it or something after I baton passed a couple Calm Minds from Oricorio into my Mega Sceptile. It ran through a team, got all 6 kills I believe, and put it up in the race for kill leader or whatever. So I was trying to get some more knockouts with it in this matchup, and that's the reason it came. Also, he's got things like Florges, Wish Protect, Aromatherapy, things like that. Steelix, like I mentioned, could be a Trick Room variant, could be a Sturdy variant with like Stealth Rocks. Umbreon can be a Baton Pass variant. All kinds of cool things it can do. Cinccino's very, very powerful as well. It's got a good speed tier. Same thing for Floatzel. Rotom Frost, I saw he's been using it pretty well this season. I don't really necessarily expect Barbarical to come, but it could. And like I mentioned, this is kind of a mean match for me. So I could see him bringing that as well too, and you know, just sporting his side of it. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive into our sets a little bit deeper. Alright, and our first Pokemon that we decided to bring this week was the Mamoswine. We needed a Stealth Rocker, and Mamoswine looks so good versus his squad. Earthquake Spam, Icicle Crush. I wanted to run Life Orb, but I didn't want him to be able to use his Regen Core and his Mons that can recover, and me just whittled down to nothing thanks to my Life Orb. So I decided Metronome would be pretty cool. I thought about Earth Plate or Icicle or Ice Plate or whatever, but it didn't do both jobs. Like Slowking comes in, I want my Earthquakes to build up damage. If I'm throwing off Ice Shards, I want my Ice Shards to build up damage, and so on and so forth. I'm rocking an Adamant Nature, Max Attack. This thing hits like a truck. After a couple Metronome boost, it's just insane how much damage output this thing can do. So it can Revenge Kill. Okay, after Stealth Rocks, it can Revenge Kill things like Hydreigon, Tornadus Therian. It can take, with my HP investment, I can take a Flare Blitz, even without Thick Fat, which is really nice. That's from a non-invested Arcanine, by the way. And Earthquake will bop it. Icicle Crash is really nice. And as like I mentioned earlier when I was looking at over the teams, Oricorio is a sub Baton Pass variant. So if I can sub up and Baton Pass just a sub into Mamoswine, I'm really fine with that. Metronome Mamoswine with 3 attacks behind the sub is very, very scary for my opponent, and hopefully that can work out. But I guess this thing can break. As you can see, I got Mamoswine, I got Emboar, I got that Pig Core that Mega Mogwai made famous back in the day of the GBA, back when the GBA was great, before it was, you know, trash. Anyways, I can break through things like Florges, his Spadef walls, his heavily, you know, his core can be, destroyed by some of my offense. Obviously, Mega Sceptile is not part of that offense. That's part of the reason I'm running a physical Mega Sceptile this week, because it just has no matchup. It has no place in this match, period. Anyways, that's going to be it for Mamoswine, and we'll hop on into Azumarill. Alright, so like I mentioned, I have this Azu set. It's kind of a Mega Venusaur lure. If it doesn't have Sludge Bomb, I can comfortably take it on. I can soak it, poison it, rest up on it, use Sap Sipper to my advantage, Aqua Jet things, and kind of, like, I'm so slow, I can't do anything about my slowness, so I felt Aqua Jet was probably my best bet. If I can use the rest of my squad to just chip down my opponent's Mons to barely nothing, then Azu can come in and just click Aqua Jet. And that's after the Mega Venusaur's gone, after the Hydreigon's gone, things like that. I like to Toxic everything, that would be really nice. Soak's kind of just there. Like if Mega Venusaur comes in on a Soak, I do expect it to switch out, avoid being poisoned, things like that. I can switch accordingly, or I can just throw off a Toxic anyway, predicting something else to come out and be poisoned. But like I mentioned, he could have Aromatherapy on Florges, and that could be an issue. But yeah, that's about it for Azu. Not too much to say about this set. It's kind of just there. Yeah, just kind of there. So we'll hop into Snorlax now. Alright, so next up was Snorlax, and we have a Facade Earthquake Rest Talk variant. Very defensive. Switches into Arcanine very well. Switches into things like Steelix pretty comfortably too, that, you know, moves bounce off. so on and so forth. Thick fat gives me a nice ice resist for things like road and frost as well. Not that ice is a huge issue to my team, but Mega Septile doesn't appreciate it. I don't have thick fat on Mamoswine, so Mamoswine doesn't appreciate it either. And Oricorio doesn't appreciate it. So that being said, thick fat on Snorlax is really nice. Facade, because he could potentially burn me, poison me, and things like that. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think sleep is considered a status. And if I'm asleep and if I'm rested up and I sleep talk and get a Facade roll, I'm pretty sure Facade is boosted because of my sleep status. I'm not for sure on that, don't quote me. Actually, if you know, leave it in the comment section please and let me know. I'm sure I could probably look it up, but I'm a lazy ass who just likes to record my videos and share it with my friends. Anyways, yeah, that's going to be it for Snorlax, so let's hop into Emboar now. Alright, so for Emboar, we have a Phytanium Z. We actually had to run a Jolly Nature, it's a little bit unfortunate, but it's okay. Emboar puts out the fucking power anyway. Excuse my language, man, I'm trying to stop that. I just get so excited about mine sometimes. We got Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, Low Kick, and Flame Charge with the Phytanium Z and the Reckless ability. This thing, like I mentioned, puts out the power, puts out the damage. And if I can get a Flame Charge boost on a sack and then potentially get another Flame Charge boost, I might not need it, but one's really nice, two would be amazing. And with my Phytanium Z, I could really put out, some power. His team does not like this, especially once I weaken Mega Venusaur, or if it's not Mega Evolved and he tries to switch it in, it will drop. Things like that. Bernardo here has been fantastic all season, and I expect nothing less in this match. So let's go ahead and hop into Oricorio and finish up with that. Alright, so next up is Oricorio, and we've got a sub Swords Dance Baton Pass variant with Roost. Roost is there so that we can continuously come in on the Tornadus Therian. We are max HP, close to max per for a little speed investment. But the idea is to pass a Swords Dance into Emboar or the Mamoswine in the early game, let them bring back in the Oricorio, Roost up, Baton Pass another Swords Dance out into my Mega Septile, and let Mega Septile clean up with its speed tier and its damage output. So that's just generally the idea. Obviously, if he brings Taunt on Tornadus Therian, which, like I mentioned, he could, stops my Bronzong in his tracks, stops Snorlax in his tracks as well, and even my Azumarill set for this matchup, it also blows back my Emboar, and it can potentially 2-hit KO my Mamoswine depending on its set. So having something to reliably switch into that is really nice, but at the same time, if he is a taunt variant, I can't do much. I didn't bring Revelation Dance on this set, and I don't really regret that because this is, like I mentioned, a meme match, and I think if I can Baton Pass the Swords Dance into one of my breakers, then I can have a really fun time in this matchup. As you can see though, I have not brought one special attacker, and that does not change in Mega Septile. So let's go ahead and jump into that as well. Alright, last but not least, like I mentioned, we have the Mega Septile, Adamant Nature, because we just need speed investment to outpace Tornadus Therian, and we can do that with an Adamant Nature. We got Leaf Blade, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, and Substitute. Earthquake's there so that Arcanine can be dealt with a whole lot easier. It also hits, still looks a little bit harder as well, unless I got a critical hit on the Leaf Blade, but I'm not playing for Chris or anything like that. And then we got sub, like I mentioned, we can sub up on Tornadus. Like if Tornadus goes for Hurricane, that's okay. Say we sub and Tornadus goes for Hurricane and he misses, we're in a fantastic position. Obviously, I'm not banking on misses or anything like that, and he could have Umbreon with Foul Play, but things like Azu and Clefable, Emboar, all those mons really deter Umbreon from coming, so I'm not sure if he'll bring that. But yeah, it's going to be the prep, so let's go ahead and hop into the battle and see what happens, because this is going on, prep talk kind of, it's been almost 15 minutes, so let's go ahead and hop into the battle and see what happens. Alright, so here we are with the replay, and Blitz chooses to bring the Mega Venusaur, Tornadus Therian, Hydreigon, Arcanine, Florges, and his Slowking. So very powerful squad, and matches up really well versus me, I felt. And I'm going to try to catch him off guard, and I'm going to try to lead off with my Azumarill. I expect him to lead off with something like Slowking, or I don't really see, like, it would be tough. It's got to be Slowking or the Mega Venusaur, because Mamoswine's such a prominent lead for me. And I feel like he has to lead off with his Slowking. So I'm going to lead off with my Azumarill and see what he wants to lead with. But he actually leads with his Mega Venusaur. And I'm going to immediately, just go for it. He goes for the Sludge Bomb, though. It does over half to my Spadef Azu here. And he's going to be able to 2-hit KO me here, if he kept his stab boost there. Obviously, he does get the poison, and that sucks a little bit, but I do have leftovers, so it didn't really change too much. I could rest up, potentially, but I'm going to hard switch out into my Snorlax. Kind of baiting another poison, because it would make my Facade stronger. However, he does switch out to the Arcanine, which is a fine play by him. I'm going to go out to my Oricorio as well, and it forces him out into his Florges. So now I know a little bit about his response to Oricorio. It tends to be his Florges. So what I'm going to do here is just go for a Swords Dance and allow him to break my sub. He does break my sub. Unfortunately, I am faster than him. I should have actually EV'd myself to be slower so I could have slow baton passes and baton pass into something without it taking damage. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to roost up, see how much damage he can do to me. He does 31%. So now I'm going to try to baton pass out. He comes in, he gets the Intimidate off, and I'm going to go straight into my Emboar here. I go for the Wild Charge, predicting his Slowking to come in, but unfortunately he stays in with his Arcanine, which is a little bit rough for me, but I guess it's okay for him, and he's able to pick me off with Extreme Speed. I did not think it would knock me out from that range, but I wasn't super bulky or anything like that. And here he goes out into his Slowking on my Mamoswine as I get rocks up. I'm going to be forced out back out into my Oricorio, I should say, and what I can do is just roost up on his switch as he goes back out into the Florges, which is a fine play for him. So he's shown Florges to be his check to Oricorio. However, if I was a Calm Mind Revelations Dance, if I was like sub Calm Mind or like Calm Mind Roost, a Revelation Dance, and Hurricane, I would have just swept him, actually. Unfortunately, that's not my set. I'm going to baton pass out my boost here as he reveals the roar on his Arcanine there. So really nice prep on his part. I guess he's noticed what Oricorio has been doing to the league and things like that, and he did not want that to happen to him. However, he is able to get huge damage off versus me here, as my Facade isn't going to be a 2-hit K. Well, it would be, but he's going to be able to outpace me here, which is a little bit unfortunate. So what I'm going to do is sack off my Azumarill, and I'm down 6-4 at turn 20 already. I know it's not super fast paced, because it's already turned 20, but at the same time, like, he's got a huge lead on me. Here, my next Earthquake would knock him out. I am Metrodome, so I'm just going to keep going for it. He brings in his Venu, though, and what I'm able to do here, I'm going to switch out because he could outpace me. He did reveal to be very, very offensive based on his Sludge Bomb damage on my Azumarill. Both of them, actually. And it's funny to see Mega Venusaur die to poison. How cool was that? So here he brings in his Tornadus Incarnate, and I'm forced to not even attack there. I'm going to hard switch out to my Mamoswine, and maybe this is going to force him out into his Slowking as I go for the Ice Shard once again. He is in range of Earthquake here, though, as revealed by the damage earlier, so I was able to pick him off there. I'm going to go for the Ice Shard here as well. It does 54 to Hydreigon, so that's pretty nice. Not quite as much as I would like it to do. Here, what I should do is go out into my Mega Sceptile and get the revenge kill or sub up or something. But what I did is go out to my Oricorio so that he could, my opponent basically wins at this point, because if he taunts me, then he's in the better position. And if I go out into my Mega Sceptile on his Hurricane, then I'll lose my Mega Sceptile anyway. And it's kind of like a checkmate position here. He can just U-turn back out into his Tornadus Therian, and basically he's going to end up picking up a 4-0 victory over us as we roost up here. He taunts us, it'll struggle us to death as he lands his Hurricane there as well. We try to switch out to Mega Sceptile and dodge a Hurricane and try to get a sub up or something, but it didn't happen. Like, it was our only way to win, but yeah, it's not going to happen. And we're not going to let Oricorio go down, though, and we're going to take this 4-1 loss like a man. Take it on the chin like a man. And that's, fantastic prep by Blitzberg. He definitely brought his A game. Unfortunately, my C or D game wasn't good enough for that. Hopefully, if we meet up again in playoffs, which there's a potential for, we could definitely have A game versus A game. And Blitzberg's a fantastic battler, like I mentioned. I love facing off against him. I just feel like he always tries to make his best plays. He never overcommits or undercommits or underprepares for anything like that. And I'm just a big fan of his skill and the way he plays and stuff like that. But yeah, it's going to be a good game to him. Let me know what you guys thought about the prep and the plays on both sides of the field. Not cutting the outro yet. Like I mentioned, We have been locked for playoffs since like week 5 or 6 or something. I believe we locked at week 5. Pretty sure, something like that. Maybe it was week 7 with our 6th win or something. I'm not real sure, but we have had locked playoffs for quite a while now, and the brackets have finally been revealed. And for round 1, we're facing off against Risepool and his Rhine Valley Guardians. Sticks will be facing off against Volume. The winner of me and Risepool will face the winner of Sticks and Volume. And then on the other side of the bracket, I believe it is who was it? I believe it was Thick Bunny and who was it? Thick Bunny versus Evan. Evan actually was able to make playoffs too, so that's really cool. He could potentially make finals too, which is awesome if he defeats Thick Bunny. And then we have Blitz taking on A12. So obviously Blitz is a fantastic battler. I do expect I think I will make some predictions here. I'm going to say Thick Bunny defeats Evan because Thick Bunny's squad. Excuse me, I'm so sorry if that blew your eardrums out. Thick Bunny has a really, really nice squad, and I think he'll pick up the win versus Evan. I think Blitz will pick up the win versus A12. Blitz has got a fantastic squad as well. I think Sticks will defeat Volume. Sticks' team is phenomenal. He made some trades mid-game or mid-season, and I'm not going to make a prediction on me and Johnny because I'm playing in that one. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the prep of the plays on both sides of the field. Let me know what you guys think about brackets. Who do you think is going to win it all? Go ahead and leave that down below as well. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.